guys, I got loads of people contacting me saying, Michelle, it's back. It's back. So, are we really? Are we really back? Now, I do have this, which started streaming 9 minutes ago. That's got nothing on it. And we've got this. Is this what people have been watching? All right, so it's this, isn't it? So we're behind. We're behind by about 23 minutes. But I haven't seen this, so we can watch it together. Let me just get myself situated here because I had to set this stream up dead quickly. All right. All right, so I'm streaming this from WBIR. So it looks very different. This is obviously the court cameras. So they've ditched the pool camera, and this looks like this is court cameras. So the audio might not be as good, but I'm guessing this is what we have to watch now. All right, so let's see.
Redeemable. You can end it with grace and love. General Boswell told you about those mitigating factors. You'll get them in your jury instructions. Spare her life and give her life without parole. If there's anything good can come from this, is that we can all move forward, knowing that you got the verdict that you wanted, and you ended it with the emotion of love and compassion. That's what will be remembered. I hope that's what you did. Don't be remembered for just compounding the tragedy and the tragedy and the tragedy. So easy to do that. The lasting impression that you give Evelyn, that you give Megan, that you give this community, is that love and grace can still be found with all of this. And we ask you to give her life. And let her have a chance to come out one day. That's justice as well. Justice for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer.
Thank you, Judge. Ladies and gentlemen, your job at this point is to determine whether or not the state has proven the aggravating statutory aggravating factor that we alleged. And as General Massengill told you, that was simply related to the age of the child as well as the age of Ms. Boswell. And clearly through her birth certificate, we have proven that aggravating factor. So then your job will be to weigh the mitigating factors that the defense has put on for you against that aggravating factor, which we have met our burden of proving. Mr. Horns asked you to end this case on the right note, and they would agree. You should end this case on the right note, and you should show Megan Boswell the same compassion and grace that she showed Evelyn. Evelyn wasn't shown any compassion. She wasn't shown any grace. You know, the one person that Evelyn should have been able to rely on to protect her, keep her safe, abandoned her, discarded her. She doesn't deserve your compassion, your grace. State asks that you weigh the aggravating factor that we've proven in this case, the fact that Evelyn Boswell, at the time she was dumped in a trash can, wasn't even 13 months old. Never had a chance. We ask that you return a verdict we've requested of life without parole.
Thank you, General. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've got another set of instructions I've got to read to you. In the criminal court for Sullivan County, Tennessee at Longville, State of Tennessee versus Megan Boswell, defendant. Case S72869. Jury instructions. Fixing punishment of life imprisonment or life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Members of the jury, you have now found the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of first-degree murder in the perpetration of first-degree murder as charged in the first count, and first-degree murder in the perpetration of a felony as charged in the second and third counts of presentment number S72869. It is now your duty to determine, within the limits prescribed by law, the penalty which shall be imposed as punishment for these offenses. Tennessee law provides that a person convicted of first-degree murder and first-degree murder in the perpetration of a felony shall be punished by imprisonment for life without possibility of parole or by imprisonment for life. A defendant who receives a sentence of imprisonment for life shall not be eligible for release until the defendant has served at least 51 full calendar years of such sentence. A defendant who receives a sentence of imprisonment for life without parole shall never be eligible for release. In arriving at this determination, you are authorized to weigh and consider any of the statutory aggravating circumstances proved beyond a reasonable doubt, and any mitigating circumstances which may have been risen by the evidence throughout the entire course of this trial, including the guilt finding phase or sentencing phase or both. The jury is the sole judge of the facts and of the law as it applies to the facts in this case. In arriving at your verdict, you are to consider the law in connection with the facts, but the court is the proper source from which you are to get the law. In other words, you are the judges of the law as well as the facts under the direction of the court. The burden of proof is upon the state to prove any statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt is that doubt created by an investigation of all the proof in the case and an inability after such investigation to let the mind rest easily as to the certainty of your verdict. Absolute certainty is not demanded by law, but moral certainty is required, and this certainty is required as to every element of proof necessary to constitute the verdict. The law makes you, the jury, the sole and exclusive judges of the credibility of the witnesses and the weight to be given to the evidence. The defendant has not taken the stand to testify as a witness during the sentencing hearing, but you shall place no significance on this fact. The burden is on the state to prove any aggravating circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. She is not required to take the stand in her own behalf, and her election not to do so cannot be considered for any purpose against her, nor can any inference be drawn from such fact. Statutory aggravating circumstances. Tennessee law provides that no sentence of imprisonment for life without possibility of parole shall be imposed by a jury, but upon a unanimous finding that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of one or more of the statutory aggravating circumstances, which shall be limited to the following. 1, the murder was committed against a person less than 12 years of age, and the defendant was 18 years of age or older. TCA 39-13-204I1. Members of the jury, the court has read to you the aggravating circumstance which the law requires you to consider if you find proved beyond a reasonable doubt. You shall not consider any other facts or circumstances as an aggravating circumstance in deciding whether imprisonment for life without possibility of parole would be the appropriate punishment in this case. Mitigating circumstances. Tennessee law provides that in arriving at the punishment, the jury shall consider, as previously indicated, any mitigating circumstances raised by the evidence which shall include, but are not limited to, the following. 1, the defendant has no significant history of prior criminal activity. 2, the youth or advanced age of the defendant at the time of the crime. 3, the defendant experienced an unstable and chaotic home life as a small child and teenager. 4, the defendant witnessed domestic violence and physical altercation between her parents in the home. 5, the defendant witnessed her parents participate in drug use and abuse as a child and teenager. 6, the defendant experienced numerous school transfers during her academic career. 7, the defendant's primary positive role model and protector died when she was 12 years of age or 12 years old. 8, the defendant had only limited access to positive family influences throughout her life. 10, the defendant participated as a caregiver to her handicapped brother and younger sister. 11, any other mitigating factor which is raised by the evidence produced by either the prosecution or defense at either the guilt or sentencing hearing. That is, you shall consider any aspect of the defendant's character or record or any aspect of the circumstances of the offense favorable to the defendant which is supported by the evidence. The defendant does not have the burden of proving a mitigating circumstance. There is no requirement of jury unanimity as to any particular mitigating circumstance or that you agree on the same mitigating circumstance. Verdict: life imprisonment or life imprisonment without possibility of parole. If you do not unanimously determine that a statutory aggravating circumstance has been proved by the state beyond a reasonable doubt, the sentence shall be life imprisonment. You will write your verdict on the enclosed form attached hereto and made part of this charge. The verdict shall be as follows. We, the jury, unanimously find that the punishment shall be life imprisonment. If you unanimously determine that a statutory aggravating circumstance has been proved by the state beyond a reasonable doubt, you shall, in your considered discretion, sentence the defendant either to imprisonment for life without possibility of parole or to imprisonment for life. In choosing between the sentences of imprisonment for life without possibility of parole and imprisonment for life, you shall weigh and consider the statutory aggravating circumstances or circumstance proved by the state beyond a reasonable doubt and any mitigating circumstance or circumstances. In your verdict, you shall reduce to writing the statutory aggravating circumstance so found, and you shall return your verdict upon the enclosed form attached hereto and made part of this charge. The verdict should be as follows. We, the jury, unanimously find that the state has proven the following listed statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. Here lists the statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances found. You shall then indicate on the enclosed verdict form either we, the jury, unanimously agree that the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life without possibility of parole, or we, the jury, unanimously agree that the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life. The verdict must be unanimous and signed by each juror. I've got verdict forms for you. Okay. I have verdict forms for you, and I will read those. Verdict form count 1. Punishment of imprisonment for life. We, the jury, unanimously determine that no statutory aggravating circumstance has been proven by the state beyond a reasonable doubt. We, the jury, therefore find that the sentence shall be imprisonment for life. Signature line, jury foreperson, signature line for each juror to sign. A date with a line. Verdict form count 1 continued. Punishment of imprisonment for life without the possibility of parole or imprisonment for life. We, the jury, unanimously find the state has proven the following statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. Check the box of any statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances you find beyond a reasonable doubt. Check box. The murder was committed against a person less than 12 years of age, and the defendant was 18 years of age or older. Below, check one box only. Check box. We, the jury, unanimously agree that the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life without possibility of parole, or check box. We, the jury, unanimously agree that the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life. Signature line, jury foreperson, signature line for each juror. Date, signature, blank. And the same exact form verbatim for counts 2 and count 3. take the case, consider all the evidence fairly and impartially, complete one of the 2 forms for each count, and report your verdict to the court. All right. Go with the officers.
Everyone stand, please.
All right, so that was a few minutes ago, because we've been running a little bit behind because today has been very eventful, very eventful. So at least we can now fast forward to.
You may be seated. Thank you.
All right, jury's out at 12:09 p.m. to consider sentencing. This court will be in recess, waiting the verdict of the jury.
All right, cool.
Court stands in recess.
So we're now, oh, annoying music. All right, so we're now back live again. So, would you like me to fill you in about what happened earlier if you didn't witness it? All right, well, Megan got guilty on all counts. Jury deliberated for 4 hours and 25 minutes. So just shy of 3 hours yesterday. And then they came in bright and early at 8 a.m. this morning. And the verdict came in about 9:30. So just shy of 4.5 hours to reach guilty on all counts. So 3 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of aggravated child, well, 1 aggravated child abuse, 1 aggravated child neglect, slightly different. Tampering with evidence, 11 counts of false reporting, that's lying to the cops, abuse of a corpse, and failure to report the death of something that happened under suspicious, unusual, or unnatural circumstances. So all of those counts, guilty. Now, in the state of Tennessee, if the jury decides on first-degree murder, then the jury get to decide the sentence. Now, look, they can't just let her go. They can't just say, "Oh, you've served your sentence. You know, you're fine. You're fine. You know, you've been in jail for 5 years. We'll let you go." No. No. The jury only has 2 options in this case: life without the possibility of parole, or life with the possibility of parole after 51 years. That clearly is the term for first-degree murder in Tennessee. 51 years. Now, she's already served 5 years because she's been in jail since her arrest, right? So she was 18 at the time of the murder. She's done 5 years already. So she will be eligible for parole when she's 69 years old. So, look, to me, it's not that big of a difference, is it? You know, is she going to make it to 69? She's going to be 70. She's going to be almost 70. Her entire adult life in prison. Is she going to make it? Is she going to make it to 70? Is she really going to make it to 70? So I don't know that it's going to take the jury an awful long time to do this. Look, I might be wrong. I might be wrong here. I might be wrong. But I think there would be maybe a longer deliberation if the death penalty was on the table. Because if the jury has to decide on whether or not to issue the death penalty, that's potentially very serious, and not everybody agrees with the death penalty at all for anybody. So I would imagine that that would be more of a spirited debate, shall we say, in the jury room. However, death penalty is not on the table in this case. The prosecution couldn't go for it because Megan was only 18. This is just Tennessee law. Megan was only 18 when the crime committed, so she was an adult, but only just an adult. And she had no previous convictions. And apparently they only count one aggravating factor or some such. I'm not really sure. But that's why the death penalty wasn't asked for in this case. So we're currently now waiting for the jury to come back. And we'll see. We'll see. But we are back live. So it was a little bit of a dash back to my desk here. You're lucky to have me at all. Because I was gonna get something to eat and I don't know, chill out, watch a movie. But I just happened to check my comments and I got loads of people going, it's back, we are back. So there you go. I hadn't even set up my live stream properly when I went live. You see, there was an issue. This is why the cameras look different than they've done throughout the trial. There was an issue. Rumour has it the cameraman's got 10 days in jail. Now, I can't prove that. This is just a rumour. So I don't know whether that's true or not. Why would the cameraman get 10 days in jail? Well, the foolish person who was operating the camera showed the jury. This was... we'd seen the witnesses, hadn't we? So we don't actually know how much we've missed because this went live partway through the defence's summing up. So we've missed a little bit. So we don't know whether the defense called any more witnesses because in this sentencing phase, it's like a mini trial. The defense can bring witnesses to, I don't know, try to persuade the jury into the most lenient option. So we heard from Angela Boswell, Megan's mother. We also heard from the foster mother, Gail. And we heard from Megan's grandma. So they were called just to appeal for leniency. Now, leniency in this case, you got to be in prison for 51 years, right? So, yeah, there's not much leniency, is there? I mean, look, personally, I'd vote for no parole, but that's just me. You know, do you want to give her a chance? You want to give her a chance of a little bit of a life when she's 70? Look, I'm not going to be really, really hard-nosed and say, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's what I would vote. Personally, that's what I would vote. However, I wouldn't hang a jury over it. So let's say, for example, I was on this jury right now, and I was the only one who wanted to go life with no parole. I wouldn't hang the jury over it. I'd just go, oh, you're just too soft, you lot, but okay, I'm the only one, blah, blah, blah. And I go with it. Because at the end of the day, she's going to be nearly 70 when she gets out, and she's probably not going to make it anyway. So I wouldn't hang the jury over it. But if it's 6 and 6, that's slightly different, isn't it? 6 and 6, they might have to have a spirited debate over it. But I don't know. So yeah, we had to vacate the cameras after that third witness. The cameras were shut off. The cameras were shut off, and I thought that was it. Court TV and Law and Crime Network sneakily tried to get us to watch a different trial. They like sneakily just switched us over to a different trial. So obviously Judge Goodwin has banned the pool camera, has banned the court TV camera. And what we're seeing now is the court's own cameras, which are surprisingly good. They're surprisingly good. I'm surprised at how clear they are. Usually court cameras are not great, but these are the court cameras. So if we just kind of go back here, those are fixed cameras. So one on the judge, one on the attorneys. So there's probably another camera that faces the witness, I would imagine. But those are the court's own cameras. Surprisingly clear. I mean, I would have been happy with them like this for the whole trial. But he's obviously booted the pool camera out and switched to the court's own cameras for safety, whilst the cameraman serves his 10 days in jail. Look, don't quote me. I don't know whether he's actually got 10 days in jail. Cameraman with WJHL reported he is in custody. Cameraman with WJHL reported he is in custody and had his camera confiscated for local news. How has he been able to communicate to the outside world that he's in custody? Have they allowed his phone in jail? Or is he getting booked in? So he's not had his phone taken off him yet. Yeah. Wish we'd have had this view so we could have seen Megan's face throughout the evidence. Yeah. I mean, it's not a great view of Megan's face, but at least it is a view of Megan's face. You know, if you're on a device, not easy to zoom in if you're on a laptop, but if you're on a phone, you could zoom in. You can zoom it right in. As a juror, the fact that she would be around 70, she's eligible for parole, would just remind me that Evelyn should have reached 50 and had a full. Yeah, that's a very good comment. Absolutely. Like I said, I would vote life, no parole, because you take the life of a baby. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna issue any leniency to you. I'm not. But if I was the only one in the room, I wouldn't hang the jury over it. It wouldn't bother me that much that she's going to get out at 69. I'd prefer her not to, but I wouldn't hang the jury over it. His one call would have been to the buddies at the news desk. So not going to call his family saying, oh, I'm really sorry, not going to be home tonight and I'm not going to be home for the next 10 days. I'm taking a vacation at the state's pleasure. He contacts his buddies at the newsroom. Breaking news. I'm in jail, guys. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? We did see Leilani's face throughout, yeah, because the camera setup there was really good for Leilani's trial. It depends. It depends on like the size of the courtroom, and also where the judge wants the cameras. You know, some judges are more, you know, I don't know, willing to work with media companies, I guess. But this is a small courtroom. So there's only really the back of the room where they could put the camera. Like, you know, those that you wheel around. Like the ones that we're watching now are fixed. So they look like they're quite high up and they're fixed. His family will see it because it's on the news. They might be pleased that he's taking his job so seriously. And he uses his one phone call to issue some breaking news to the news desk. It looks like a very small courtroom. Because they panned around once right at the beginning of the trial. And there really isn't that much room for the audience. It's only a few rows. So to fit a camera crew in, there's absolutely no way they could have put it like behind the judge. Like sometimes they position it kind of like behind the judge or to the side of the judge. But like if they do it at the same side that the jury's on, then there's no way that they can get the jury. Because the camera is facing away from the jury. But what even possessed the cameraman to zoom in on the witness coming in? I've no idea. There was no necessity to do it whatsoever. It was just stupid. Just really stupid. To try to film the witness coming in. Given that the witness walks right by the jury. Did they ever say who the baby's dad was? So people are still asking that question. No, not officially. No, they didn't. However, a name got kind of put out there into the world, and we're left to wonder whether that name that was put out to the world is Evelyn's dad, or whether it's just someone else that we hadn't heard from or about. It wasn't explained. Let's just put it that way. It wasn't explained. I wasn't actually going to say the name, but yeah, Eric Smith. So it came out during the cross-examination of the fingerprint guy, David Hoover, I think his name was. And Jean Scott, for the defense, said, did the witness get the palm prints for Hunter Wood and Eric Smith? Now, we'd not heard the name Eric Smith previous. We didn't hear it again. And there was no explanation as to who Eric Smith was. So we're left to wonder whether that name is Evelyn's bio dad, or whether that's just someone else that, I don't know, was known to frequent Megan's home. We've no official expansion or detail or explanation as to why that name was used, and how, you know, why would Eric Smith have any potential to have a palm print at a crime scene? Did I see Misconduct's recent comment about the judge being so mad about the cameraman that he didn't sentence him today and will be sentenced on March the 7th? No, I didn't see that. So he'll get out on bail then. Unless the judge is going to keep him in jail until he's sentenced. Bless him. Oh, I bet he was furious. I bet he was furious. I need to have been a fly on the wall, because he was mad enough when he saw one of the photographers using a flash. He was mad enough. He threatened her. That was on day one. He threatened her with 10 days in jail for contempt of court. And then he was mad again when they zoomed in on Mr. Scott's laptop screen which I can understand. It's an invasion of privacy. We shouldn't be looking at Mr. Scott's laptop screen. There's no need for it. Mr. Scott's laptop screen's not on trial. The palm print belonged to who? We don't know who the palm print belonged to, but we know that it was a small palm print. So likely a child-sized palm print. Unless Megan had friends with very small hands. So likely a small palm print. He wasn't able to test it against Evelyn's because Evelyn's body had already gone, or I wouldn't imagine they'd be able to get a palm print off Evelyn anyway, given the amount of decomposition. But they didn't test Megan's younger siblings, and they didn't test the palm print against anybody. So it's likely it's child, but it's just the name Eric Smith was put out there into the world with no explanation. I thought it was pretty irresponsible, honestly, of Gene Scott. You know, okay, if he's going to say a name, Eric Smith, well, at least say why Eric Smith's relevant. So they must be checking all camera angles now. Well, it's a court camera now, so the court has the fixed cameras, and if they're going to move, it's the court that's controlling them. It's a very bad day for the cameraman, yeah. Probably an 18-year-old intern. Yeah, but at least they should be able to say, you know, I had one job. Do not film the jury. Do not film the jury. Surely that is drummed into anybody who is given that job. Surely, you know, you're not allowed to film the jury. Surely that is something that is drummed into them, whoever it is behind that camera. The flash photography, I thought was harsh, honestly. Like the way he went off on her. I thought it was a bit harsh. You know, just saying, please don't do that. It's distracting. Please do not do that. If it happened again, then obviously. But is he allowed to take his camera with him on the 7th? I bet not. I bet not. I wonder whether he'll lose his job. Can I live stream the cameraman's court date? I'm guessing it's probably not going to be televised. Do they do palm prints at birth like they do footprints? I don't know about the state of Tennessee. They don't here, though. I don't know the answer to that. He described it to be about 1/5 of his hand. I think it was Evelyn. Like it's you know, it was actually on the trash can, so it's probably just one that, you know, she's been toddling around, she put her hand on the bin and it's not been wiped. Like, we saw the state of Megan's place, so it's not like she's going to be wiping her bin, is it, really? But, you know, Megan had 2 younger siblings. It could be one of them. Judge told the cameraman to get a good lawyer. Yeah. Someone should replay the judge saying the jurors' names. Yes. Like, he gave the names of all the alternates. Like, he didn't give the first names, but he gave the surnames. You know, like Mr. Such and so, you're an alternate, you can go. And then there was the juror from yesterday. Was it either yesterday or this morning? Was it this morning? And there was a juror missing. And he said the name of the juror. So it's okay if you've got a very like common surname. It's not too bad if you've got a very common surname. But if you've got a very rare surname, you're so easily like identifiable from your surname if it's an unusual one. They are full siblings. Her younger brother and sister are full siblings. Did she have any other children? Megan, no. Be furious if you're a jury member. Not everyone wants to be on a jury in the first place. Yeah, I mean, it's only, you know, it's an invasion of privacy to have either your name or your face, especially in a case such as this. It's probably not so bad that, you know, Megan, I don't think there's going to be that many people who are upset by the verdict, honestly. But what if they'd found her not guilty and people were furious? It only takes one, like, nutcase to start hunting down people. No movie for me tonight. You have a lot of catching up to do in the Karen Reid case, do I? I know that Karen Reid's attempt to get the 2 charges dismissed has failed. I know that. That's the last I heard. That the Supreme Court has said no. Like, they upheld the judge's decision. If there's more, then I do have some catching up to do, but I followed that part. We are waiting for them to come back. Yes, Alligator. It's what you do with trials. They're deliberating. They're deliberating on whether Megan should get life without the possibility of parole or life with the possibility of parole after 51 years. let me have a look at my poll. I put a poll up earlier and then promptly turned YouTube off, so I don't know how my poll's doing. But if you want to, excuse me, if you want to vote in the poll, do so quickly, because I'm going to end it. We're currently at life with no parole, 74%. Life with parole after 51 years, 27% now. With 371 votes. So you got one more minute and then I'm going to close it. Again, I would vote, I can't vote in my own poll, but I would vote life, no parole. However, if I was the only one in the room and my other, my other jurors said, no, Michelle, you're being too harsh. We want to give her a chance and to let her out at 69. I wouldn't hang the jury. I wouldn't. It's not like at the age of 69, she's going to be able to go and have more kids to murder. You know, she's not going to be a danger to anyone, is she, at 69? I don't know, though. I don't know. And that's only the possibility of parole. It doesn't mean to say she'd get it. It's not like the day she turns 69, they're just going to hoof her out. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to prove to the parole board that you are worthy. So it's not even a guarantee that she would get out at age 69. So I want to hang the jury over it. But they may as well just leave her in there. I mean, how is she going to cope with life? Like, she will literally have spent her entire adult life behind bars. How is she going to cope with life at the age of 69? How is she going to be able to, like, feed herself? She'll have nowhere to live. Like, her parents will be dead, I assume, unless they're a very long-lived family. Her siblings won't even know her. You know, they won't really know her, will they? Probably some of her friends will be dead. So I don't really see there's any benefit letting her out at the age of 69. Other than, oh, well, maybe she could, you know. I don't even know. I don't know what benefit there'd be. It would just be a very, very strange world that she'd walk out into. All right, I'm going to end this poll. So we've got 399 votes, 73% life without parole, 26% life with parole. We've lost 1%. I don't know why. Because it rounds it up. Okay. Why are we considering life after parole? Did Evelyn get that? No. And that would be the reason why I wouldn't want her to have a chance. Personally. That's just personally speaking. I would vote no parole. However, again, I wouldn't hang the jury over it. I do get it, though. I get why people might want to go, oh, well, she's going to be a little old lady. Can we imagine her being in prison as a little old lady? And wouldn't we want to give her the opportunity to go for a walk in the woods? And I don't know, whatever. You know, at that point, I'd say, yeah, well, Evelyn probably might like to have got old and gone for a walk in the woods when she was old. She's not got that choice, has she? No. But at the end of the day, she may not even get there. And also, even if she does get there, she may not even get parole. She has to prove to the parole board that she can basically thrive or at least survive outside. That's going to be a big ask. She's going to have to prove to the parole board that she can support herself, that she's got somewhere to go, that she's not going to be out on the streets, that she's not going to fall into life of crime to be able to support her just surviving. They're not going to want to throw her out into the world unless there's a plan. And also, she's got to prove she's not a danger, or she's not going to, pose a risk to anybody or anything. It's a big ask, having been in prison for that long. Given that it is literally her entire adult life. It's a big ask. So, I don't know. And look, probably none of us are going to be here even to see it, are we? It's like 46 years down the line. I'm not going to be here. I doubt it anyway. The majority of us watching this now will not be here to watch Megan Boswell's parole hearing in 46 years. So it's the principle of the thing more than anything, though. But for those just coming in, we are currently waiting for the jury to come back. They are deliberating on whether Megan Boswell should get life without the possibility of parole or life with the possibility of parole after 51 years. You're 107. Yeah, well, I'm not going to be far behind you. So, you never know. We might be a whole bunch of 100-year-olds waiting on Megan Boswell's parole hearing. We might be sitting here in 46 years waiting on the parole hearing. Don't fancy living that old. I don't, to be fair. Probably we'll not be able to see the chat, will we? We'll all be like we'll all be wondering how to turn on the newfangled devices that that probably will exist in 46 years' time. We'll be like, how do we even turn this on? You're like Mr. Burns from Simpsons. 120. Wow. Be like one of the eldest people in the entire world. Reading chat with a magnifying glass, exactly. Yeah, the behavioural panel are doing Megan. Yeah, they are. It's probably happening right now. WVLT has courts on. This is going to be coming back anytime soon. This is WBIR. What did you say? WVLT. WCYB is not on yet. What did you say? I can't even. If one of them's got it on, they'll all have it on in a minute. WVLT. Right. WVLT. They've not even got the stream up yet. It says waiting. So maybe they're playing something from earlier on. But yeah, the behaviour panel are doing Megan Boswell. It's a premiere, so you'll be able to just go and watch it after this. Yeah, she was sentenced. She's not been sentenced yet. This is the sentencing phase. But she was found guilty of all counts. So this is what happened this morning. So the judge brought them in very early this morning, brought the jury in very early. So they started deliberating at 8 a.m. and they deliberated overall for 4 hours and 25 minutes. They'd done almost 3 hours yesterday, and then it was shortly before 9:30 a.m. this morning that the verdict was reached, and she was found guilty of all charges. That is 3 counts of first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, aggravated child neglect, tampering with evidence, 11 counts of false reporting, so lying to the cops, abuse of a corpse, and failure to report a death under suspicious, unnatural, unusual circumstances. Guilty on all counts. So the jury are now deciding her fate. In Tennessee, if someone's found guilty of first-degree murder, the jury gets to decide the sentence. They don't have a massive choice. They only have 2 choices, either life without the possibility of parole or life with the possibility of parole after 51 years. They'd have a third, death penalty, but the state couldn't go for death penalty in this case. So they only got 2 choices. Either life without the possibility of parole or life with the possibility of parole after 51 years. So that would mean that Megan will be 69 by the time she's even eligible for parole. So the jury are currently deliberating. They've been out now for just over an hour. They're probably having their lunch. What time is it in Tennessee? So it's like 1 p.m. now. So they'll have brought them lunch in, but they can obviously carry on talking while they're eating. Someone might, yeah, cram her into a garbage can. That's it, yeah. The jury would be more merciful to Megan than Megan was to Evelyn. Absolutely. Basically anything is more merciful. Anything, literally anything is more merciful even if she was given the death penalty, even that would be more merciful because that would be done in a humane way. What was done to Evelyn was just absolutely horrifying. So even if she was given the death penalty, that would be more merciful, more humane. Why isn't it the judge? I don't know, Moira. I don't know why they do it like this in Tennessee. It's just what I don't know, it must be Tennessee law. It's not what I'm familiar with. Like in the UK, the judge decides the sentence. The jury never gets an option to decide the sentence on anything. The jury just determines whether they, the state have met their burden. And, guilty, not guilty. That's it. So this is unusual. It's unusual. I don't know how many other states do it like this. But it is, must be just a Tennessee thing. Yeah, I mean, the lice and the matted hair. The thing is, right, Megan was 17 when she went into foster care. So she would have been able to brush her own hair. It wasn't like a 3-year-old. So if her hair's all matted, well, why didn't she just brush it? I don't understand why she didn't just brush it. And head lice, look, I've had head lice. They're not very nice, but, they're itchy. But anybody can get them. Anybody can get them. I went through my entire school without getting head lice. And then my sister brought them home. And she gave me head lice when I was about 17. And it was terrible. It was really itchy and horrible. And I had really long hair at the time. And it was the 1980s when you like I used to backcomb my hair like really into something like really bushy. So it took me forever to get rid of these lice. It took me forever. But I mean, look, it's not nice to go into foster care and you're underweight, you're malnourished, and you got head lice and knotty hair. But it's not the same as being 3 and having all of those things. She was 17. Big hair was the way to go in the 1980s. I like big hair. I miss it. Look, if you got long hair, they're difficult to get rid of. You got to be a little bit persistent with them. Yeah, she could have gone to the store herself and got some lice shampoo. Assuming that she obviously had the money to do so. Cooking oil. Does that really get rid of them? Then you have to wash it out. Cooking oil. Maybe you can't use lice medication when you're pregnant. I don't know the answer to that. I would imagine that there are things that you can do to get rid of lice when you're pregnant. I don't think you have to endure head lice throughout your entire pregnancy. There might be certain medications you can't use. That might be where the cooking oil comes in. You can definitely dose your head with cooking oil when you're pregnant. Cooking oil works a treat. Well, I shall remember that. Tea tree oil. Yeah, tea tree is what I have used to get rid of lice in the past. Vinegar. Yeah, we're all itching now. Oh no. Came on with nits. Had her down my back. I cut it all off and short back and sides. Yeah, you've got to wash your bedding as well, or else you keep getting reinfected. Vinegar in a spray bottle with water keeps them away. Makes hair shiny. No smell. Really? How does vinegar not smell? Anyhow, it was just a thought that you're 17, you are able to, I don't know, push your own hair. Let's see what's going on in the world of Twitter. TBI have issued a statement. TBI Director David Roche says, 5 years ago we began working alongside the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office, FBI, and the Office of the Second Judicial District Attorney General to pursue justice for baby Evelyn. Today, justice was finally served. Every single person who worked on this case should be commended. It was both challenging and heartbreaking. but they never wavered from their mission to ensure the person responsible for Evelyn's death was held accountable. That's TBI. The local news photographer was taken into custody during the sentencing hearing and also had their camera. Bless him. According to other news outlets at the hearing, the photographer with WJHL was taken into custody and had that camera confiscated. No other details have been released. Just a silly thing to do. Assistant District Attorney pleads for justice in a closing argument during Megan Boswell's. Oh, that's from yesterday. Her mother was arrested today after a testimony. Wait, what? So Angela Boswell's been arrested today after... What for? What was she arrested for? I need to know. Drugs. Oh, warrants, outstanding warrants. No. So she turned up. She turned up at the court with an outstanding warrant. No. Oh, come on. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. That's bad, that is. That is bad. Oh, yeah, she's been in and out of jail her whole adult life. But did she not... Hold on. I plugged my charger in again. And now my mic's gone off completely. Hold on, please hold. Please hold. Huh? Why are you doing this to me? Come on, Mike, kick back in. Daily. Yeah, you can hear me, but you're on my laptop mic rather than the actual mic that I plug in. There we go. We're back. Back on the proper mic. There's not much difference. It's just that if I knock the laptop, you get your ears blasted out. But we're all good now. So they are deliberating, but it is the lunch time. So maybe they've stopped to eat lunch. I mean, look, they get lunch, they get meals brought to them. So I don't see why they can't just eat and talk at the same time. Is that warrant related to the car that Hunter gave her? No, I think that was dealt with. She was in jail for that 5 years ago. Right, I don't know what the warrant was for. No idea. Thought sentencing would have been fairly quick. Yes, so did I, honestly. So they've been an hour and a half now. Did I have the 80s Toya Wilcox hairstyle? I don't remember what hairstyle Toya Wilcox had in the 1980s, honestly. I just had, it was really long and I used to just back comb it all. And then put like an entire thing of hairspray on it. Now I'm curious. Look at Toya Wilcox. Wasn't she a punk? I wasn't a punk. I wasn't punk. 1980s. Not quite like that. Mine, it was longer. Let's just literally back comb it all. Toya had pink and orange hair in the 80s. Looked like a huge fan on her head. Just like Adam Ant. No way. The 1980s had the best, absolute best fashion. I haven't recovered from the fact that it's no longer the 1980s. Once the clock ticked over into 1990, that was it. Best days were gone. Blue streaks. Hair was cut into a triangle point in the back and spiked on top. Well, that's very detailed. I don't think I could have maintained that. That was too much hard work. '70s rocked. Nah, I don't. I was only a kid in the '70s. Yeah, the cameraman is going to get 10 days in jail. By the looks of things. Judge ain't playing. Judge Goodwin, he's not playing. He's going to make sure that his courtroom remains contempt-free. They've been threatened already with contempt of court, so oh dear. Oh dear. For those who didn't see it earlier, do you want to watch it? Hold on. This is what happened. We might as well just play it. We'll play Angela Boswell. We might as well just play it to the bit where so it's not very long before they go off. Doesn't everyone in the jury have to agree on the sentence? If so, that's why it's taking so long. Yeah, they have to. They do have to. All right, let's watch some of this. So this was the witnesses. This was before the camera went off. So each witness was only on for a few minutes. And then the camera started like properly glitching out like really bad. So if you missed it this morning, and this is what happened. So we started with Angela Boswell before she was arrested.
Ms. Boswell, you know the purpose of being here today.
I do.
I want to ask you some about Megan's home life and growing up, but I guess I want to ask you first a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
And I'm asking you these questions, Ms. Boswell. I'm not trying to embarrass you or
No,
cast any
no, sir. No.
You married Tommy Boswell when you were how old?
First time 15.
You speak into that microphone just a little more, please.
The first time 15.
And when did you become pregnant with your first child with him?
I had my first in April and turned 16 in July. So,
Okay, and who was that child?
Tommy Jr.
And then You had Megan at some point. How old were you when you had Megan?
There's 8 years difference. I was almost 24.
It's okay. So, let's talk about Megan's life growing up. Would it be fair to say that during her lifetime, she's witnessed drug use between you and her father?
Yes.
What type of drugs?
Opiates, mainly.
Scoot up or speak into that so the jury can hear you.
Opiates, mainly.
Did that drug use lead to other problems?
Yeah. Arguments, fighting, yes.
Okay. You say there
Strife
strife.
is what it brings, yes. Non-stop.
Is that something that went on pretty much her entire childhood
Yeah.
growing up?
Yeah, from the time she was pretty little, yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Good. Now, did she witness fights between you and her father?
Yes.
Okay. I think at some point her father was convicted of aggravated assault and kidnapping.
Yes.
Were you the victim in that?
Yes. Mm.
Do you remember ever taking Megan to any NAAA meetings with you?
Yes, I did.
How old was she when you did that?
She was probably about 7 or 8. First ones I started taking her to 7 or 8, 8 or 9, somewhere around in there.
Now due to the strife in your home, was she raised by her grandparents to some degree?
Yes.
Okay. What were their names?
Mary and Danny Boswell.
Mary Boswell, would that be who's known as a mommy?
Yes. Mm.
These problems, do you feel that it's partly your fault, the problems Megan's experienced?
No, absolutely. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Now, unfortunately, your problems, that they went on up into, we saw a video in here, you being brought down from the jail to talk with her in 2020.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So even up until the time she went to jail, you were in and out of jail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I've been.
Have you been convicted of numerous crimes?
Yes.
Now, have you managed to straighten up at this point?
I have, yes.
You hoping to?
Yes. I pray every day and just, to do my best and try. I've learned the importance of a mother's role, but not for Megan, I didn't.
All right.
I failed her on that miserably.
And you're here asking the jury to give her a sentence of life as opposed to life without.
It's Maggie is at her core. She's a generous, kind person. And through all Maggie's went through, Maggie still has potential. She was trying so hard. She didn't repeat my mistakes. Maggie learned from my mistakes. And she was trying to do better with Eve. She wasn't repeating. I think she got saddled with, just because of my mistakes that she did. That was not it. That was not the case with them.
Would it be fair to say she didn't have a good role model for the mother should be?
No, she did not.
Answer any of Ms. Massengill or Mr. Harper's questions.
I don't have any questions, Judge.
So that's Angela Boswell, who's trying to better herself and then got arrested outside. As she left, she got arrested for outstanding warrants. So there's that. All right, I'm going to let this play because Cassie wants to go out. So I'm just going to take Cassie outside. So I'll just let this play. If the court comes back, oh, she's gone and led back down now. Great. Okay. Fantastic. So you wanted to go out? No, obviously not. All right. Let's listen to the grandma when the grandma comes on. And then the court starts like going wackadoodle. So this is a point here.
We call Mary Boswell.
Was it not Mary Boswell? Was it the other witness? Oh no, I think it was this other witness. No, it was the old lady, wasn't it?
Raise your right hand. State your name, please.
Gail Kite.
Ms. Kite, you solemnly
Oh, so it's not her, it's the other one.
Boswell.
Mhm.
I'm Gene Scott. How are you?
Pretty good.
We're here today because the jury's trying to decide how long Megan will have to stay in prison. I want you to, I guess, your name is Mary Boswell.
Are these character witnesses? These are people that the defense is. This happened this morning. So you got Angela Boswell, Megan's mother. This is Megan's grandma. And then the lady that I skipped by is the foster mother that we already met during the trial. They're here to appeal to the jury for leniency. So leniency in Megan's case is life with the possibility of parole after 51 years. It's before this, is it? So it's the other witness, is it? It's not, because she comes in. She comes in. And then you don't see her till she's ready to take the stand.
raise your right hand. State your name, please.
Gail Kite.
Ms. Kite, you solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, ma'am.
I do.
Speak into the microphone.
It's when she. So it's this witness.
Be careful because it's so stamped on this all.
Oh, look, they've edited it out. They've edited it out. That's why I couldn't find it. They've edited it out. Oh. Well, guess who hasn't edited it out? Me. So let's watch. I've not edited it out. I can watch it back. There, look. There, right there. They zoomed out. They zoomed out too much.
Mary Boswell. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ms. Boswell,
Mhm.
I'm Gene Scott. How are you?
All right, I'm going to let this play because Cassie has now decided she wants to go out again. So listen to Mary Boswell. This is Megan's grandma. And just to prove that the court's not back, So I'll be only a couple of minutes. I'm just taking Cassie out to the front to have a wee.
Pretty good.
We're here today because the jury's trying to decide how long Megan will have to stay in prison. I want you to, I guess, your name is Mary Boswell.
Not Mary Boswell.
Okay. How do you know Megan?
Sir,
How do you know Megan?
she's my granddaughter.
Okay. Are you Tommy Boswell's mother?
Yes, sir.
And obviously you've known Megan her whole life.
All of her life, I started keeping her from the time she was 2 months old till she was grown, off and on, not all the time, but off and on.
Why was that in part because of problems between your son and her mother, Angela?
Sir,
Was that because her parents were having
no,
problems?
she just loved me and her papa, and she stayed with us, and we loved her, and so we keep her a lot.
Were you aware of the violence issues between Tommy and Angela?
No, I didn't live in their home or nothing. I don't know nothing about what went on in their home, sir.
Okay.
We'd pick her up and keep her until she want to go back and like that, off and on.
And have you always lived down there on the same property Tommy lives on? Or
I've never lived there for maybe 20 years, 21 or 2 or something like that.
she lived there almost all Megan's life.
Yeah, yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir.
And you're aware, you told me, I think one of Megan's role models was your husband, your late husband.
Sir,
Your late husband, he was one of Megan's role models.
yes, we loved her like she belonged to us.
And when did he pass, man?
11 and a half years ago. Soon be 12 this summer.
So that would have been when Megan was, I guess, what?
Yeah, maybe 12 years old or
12
something.
years old.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that take an impact on her?
Yes, it did.
And are you here asking this jury for leniency today?
Yes, sir, I am.
Asking them not to give her a sentence of life without parole?
I hope they don't, sir. I love her like I hope they don't give her the sentence like that. I'd love to give her my home if I could take her home today. That's how much I love her.
I understand. Thank you, Ms. Boswell. Thanks for any, Mr. Harper or Ms. Massey.
No questions.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm leaving. Thank you. Can I sit out here with you? Okay.
You approach.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll have you go with the officer for just a minute. It won't take long.
Everyone stand, please. You may be seated. Thank you. Now approach. Megan, we've talked about this before. You understand you have a right not to testify.
Yes.
No one can force you to testify.
Yes.
We'll start this over since we didn't have the microphone up. Megan, you understand you have a right not to testify, and if you don't testify, the jury may not draw any inferences from that failure to testify. You understand that?
Yes.
Likewise, you have a right to testify. No one can keep you from testifying if you wanted to.
Yes.
After consulting with me and Mr. Ford and talking about your case and hearing what's happened here in court and all the evidence, do you wish to testify or not?
No,
You do not wish to testify?
I do not wish to testify.
And Ms. Boswell, you're still under oath from yesterday or the day before. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm back.
Do you have any other proof?
And then
And before we bring the jury in, one thing that I-
what? It just starts like madly glitching out.
Took the contents of one of their books and the cover page. I gave that to the court reporter, and that would be designated as Exhibit A, the letter A, for identification only, so that it's part of the record as to what those notebooks were. All right.
So I think, is this the point where he gets informed? In fact, informed that they showed the jury. Yeah, so there we go. It starts to mega glitch out, and then they're going back looking at all the different. Like they made it worse. They made it worse by filming this. Like this was being broadcast live. They made it worse by showing the jury again and again. Watch, this was being broadcast live. Can you believe it? Go on, rewind. You rewind in a minute. Fired, yeah.
Yesterday or the day before.
Oh, it's funny. Oh, but it's not funny if you're one of the jurors, honestly. Oh, we're back. Court's back. Court's back, guys. So we're now live. We are now live and back. So of course it's not funny if you're one of the jurors. But it made it worse. Let's put it that way. It made it way worse by kept rewinding. Yeah, it is a different court view. This is the court's own cameras. Because the pool camera that was being used throughout the trial got kicked out and he's in jail. The cameraman's in jail and the camera's been confiscated. So these are the court cameras. All right, I'm going to mute out. And court's back in session.
Because right here, this one, they do not find the aggravating factors. They can't go this one. This one. Where they find the aggravating factors. Yeah. What was it? What was it?
What I'm going to say, if you look at page where I have my signature, where I had to sign the instructions. The very last sentence says, take the case, consider all the evidence fairly and impartially, complete one of the two forms. I'm going to say yes, and then I'm going to say complete one of the two forms for each count.
That's good to me. Okay.
Sound good to you?
I feel we've already watched this. Like the stuff about the forms. I'm confused now. But no, this is happening live. So I don't know. Is there a decision? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Maybe there was a question. Maybe it's a juror question. No, they're not re-showing it. This is live. This is happening live. But I think this must be a juror question. So he said something about, I'll tell them they've got to fill in one of the two forms or something. So I think the jurors must have been asking, what do we actually fill in?
DC, court still in session.
But if they're asking a question about what form they're
Only
going to
two
fill
copies.
in,
They need a copy of it.
it means they've got a
If you
decision.
don't mind.
All right, I'm muting out now.
I forgot to make y'all a copy. He's making it.
Restore.
I forgot to make you each a copy.
I'm fine.
He went to make it.
Maybe if you've been wanting to.
I don't need a notebook. Well, yeah, I do. I gotta put it in there. All right, we'll have to bring the jury in and I'll read them this supplemental instruction to answer the question. And I have to staple the actual handwritten question to the back of the. All right, we can bring the jury in.
Everyone stand, please. Maybe seated, thank you.
Okay, supplemental instruction number 1. Members of the jury, each instruction to you or response by the court to any request from the jury is required to be reduced to writing. You are not to place undue.
What the actual F just happened there? Why has that? Why? I'm going to have to find another stream. They've either turned the camera off again. Oh, dear me. Dear me. All right, who else was showing it? This is becoming very tedious. This is becoming really tedious. All right. Let me see maybe. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Stop. I've got this, but they're waiting. They've been waiting for the last 2 hours. They showed the back of the jurors' heads. No! Well, that was the court's own camera. No way. This is insane. This is insane. Hold on, we're gonna rewind. We're gonna actually watch what went on there. Video is unavailable. The video's unavailable. Yeah, they've shown the jury again. But that was the court's own camera. How can the court's own camera be positioned to saw 2 of them. That's another cameraman in jail for 10 days. No. No. Maybe go find other YouTube channels. No, because everybody will be experiencing the same thing. The camera's gone off. I can't rewind. The video's unavailable. So the video that we've just been watching has been taken down. It has been taken down. Video is not available. That's what we've just been watching. The judge needs to go to jail for 10 days. And then we've got this on WVLT, which has never gone live. That's been waiting for the last 2 hours. WCYB also don't have it. I bet they've taken it down. Yeah, they've taken it down. Look, streamed 1 minute ago. So, not video unavailable. Look, they've taken it down. Because they're going to have to edit out that part where they show the jurors. What happened? For the second time today, the jury have been shown on camera. So all the news channels that were live streaming have cut their streams and have made their videos unavailable. At least the cameraman that got sent to jail earlier has got a cellmate now. Has got a cellmate who understands the pain of being a cameraman. It's not in my... I can't replay my own stream. Can I? Oh, here we go. Yeah, I can replay my own stream. All right. So this is my stream. This is what we've just watched. Okay, watch this. Watch this.
Instruction to you or response by the court to any request from the jury is required. Jury in, and I'll read them this supplemental instruction to answer the question. And I have to staple the actual handwritten question to the back of the.
All right, so just let him do his stapling.
All right, we can bring the jury in.
Bring the jury in. Right, I'm going to pause it. So we're looking down here.
Stand, please.
Oh, look! No! No! No way! That's bad! That is so bad. That's worse than the previous one. That needs 20 days in jail.
Instruction to you or response by the court to
Where does he stand up? So he's doing his stapling.
All right, we can bring the jury in.
And it's different jurors as well.
Everyone stand, please.
Look, 1, 2, 3. 3 jurors. No way. No way. Maybe court stream should stream on an hour delay. Some do. Some do. Some stream on a half-hour delay. Some do for that reason. So that they can edit like at the judge's request. So that if there are any problems, 6 jurors been spotted now, yeah. It's wild. Unbelievable. But that's the court's own fault. That's the court's camera. So if the camera is positioned in a way that allows jurors to be seen as clear as anything when they come back into the room, maybe they're not familiar. Maybe they've never used it to stream a trial before. So maybe they've, they use these court cameras maybe to stream like a hearing where there's no jury. Maybe it's never been an issue before. Maybe they've not realized before. Maybe the original cameraman should be let off. Yeah, well, it's obviously easily done, isn't it? We need to start a petition. Free the cameraman from WJHL. So I guess, I don't know whether they're going to come back a third time. I don't know whether they're going to come back a third time or whether they're just going to call it quits. As a defense, yes, he does. He absolutely does. He absolutely does. Well, I'd make a funny video of it, except it's kind of not funny because the jurors are seen as clear as anything. So if I made a funny video, it would be at the juror's expense, and I don't want to do that. I could do like a funny, with silly music, and I could really make it look good, but I'm not going to do that. It's not fair on the jurors. Look, it's laughable when you're not one of those jurors who clearly should not have their identities known. The back, are they? What, with a new stream? Oh dear. They're back with a new stream, are they? All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. What was I in? BIR. WCYB is not back. Here we go.
Of age before she would be
No,
eligible.
that's not live. Well, it is live, but it's not live in the courtroom. That's not live in the courtroom. Okay. It shouldn't need to be this difficult, honestly. It should not need to be this difficult. Oh, this happened 3 minutes ago.
I propose that we release the jury from this case. Any opposition from the state? Defense? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your service. If you go with the officer.
Everyone stand, please.
This is wild.
Glad you see you, thank you.
All right. Ms. Boswell, in count one, the jury of your peers having set your punishment, you'll be sentenced to life imprisonment. In count two, you'll be sentenced to life imprisonment. In count three, you'll be sentenced to life imprisonment. We'll have to set this for sentencing hearing where we'll deal with merger, other issues, as well as sentencing in counts 4 through 20. Does she waive the 45 days, Mr. Scott?
She does.
Sentencing in this case for May the 8th.
Judge, that is not good for me. I have a murder trial in Carter County the very next month.
It's not good. May the 16th.
I expect the Carter County murder trial. We've got 2 weeks blocked off.
May the 23rd.
Yes, sir, I'll be here.
Sentencing will be held May 23rd. Pre-sentence report needs to be filed no later than April the 15th.
Judge, you have May the 22nd. This is the 23rd.
I do.
We'll use that instead.
We can.
Thank you.
That good with the state?
Yes, Judge.
All right. May 22nd. We'll say at 1:30.
Yes.
At 1:30 p.m. Report by the Department of Corrections be filed no later than April the 15th. All right. Anything else we need to take up?
Nothing else to say.
Mr. Horn?
Yes, Judge. I think from this point going forward, since Mr. Scott was primary counsel on this case, I would make an oral motion to be relieved as co-counsel on behalf of Megan Boswell going forward.
You'll be relieved. You are appearing as co-counsel pro bono.
Yes, Your Honor.
The court thanks you for your service.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
All right. Court will be recessed till Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. for the next trial.
Thank you, Judge.
Release the jury from this case. Any opposition from the state? Defense. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your service. If you'll go with the officer.
Everyone stand, please.
There they are again. Just showed them again. Just showed them again. Just showed them again.
Opposition from the state. Defense. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your service. If you'll go with the officer.
Everyone stand, please.
Wow. Unbelievable. 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 So we don't know whether she's got life without parole or life without the possibility of parole. Did I say the same thing twice? Life without the possibility of parole or life with the possibility of parole after 51 years. I think they've released them from the service because they realise they've shown them. What was the purpose of this? The purpose of this was because in Tennessee, if somebody is found guilty of first-degree murder, the jury gets to decide the sentence within very small parameters. So in this case, the jury had two choices. If there's death penalty, they get three choices. But when death penalty is not on the table, it's only two choices. So there's life without the possibility of parole or life with the possibility of parole after 51 years. Yeah, he said life, but life without the possibility of parole or life with the possibility of parole after 51 years. He needed to finish the sentence, so just life. I think he's not sent the jury back to fill in those forms because they've shown the jury, they've shown them, so he needed to let them go. I'm only guessing because we missed a chunk. We missed a chunk when the streams went down. And then the next hearing is for counts 4 through 20. So May 22nd for the rest of the counts. But they don't matter because she's got life anyway. So I just want to see what News Channel 5 are saying.
And of course, online as well. With 3 life sentences, they're recommended, I should say, by the jury. We'll return you back to regular programming and have complete.
Coming up on News 5 and, of course, online and on all our outlets.
All of our digital platforms as well. You have all of our coverage as well throughout this trial. But Megan Boswell found guilty on all 19 charges and today sentenced with 3 life sentences. They're recommended, I should say, by the jury. We'll return you back to regular programming and have complete coverage of this beginning here today at 5 on News 5 and, of course, online as well.
This is a News 5 special report.
We'll hear more from Judge Jim Goodwin once the...
All right. Oh, you couldn't see that, could you? I just play News Channel 5. Anyway. Anyhow. Why didn't they just give sentence out? Because when the judge has to prepare like a report, and I don't know, I'm used to those kind of hearings though, where the judge waits to have a separate sentencing hearing. Third cameraman legged it and he's now a fugitive. Dear me. All right. So we don't know whether she's got life without parole, life with the possibility of parole after 51 years. We've just heard life. We don't know. But May 22nd for the sentencing hearing. So maybe Judge Goodwin will get his cameras sorted by then. He's got a while. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm not coming back. Even if Judge Goodwin does, I'm not coming back. I'm done. I'm done for today. Life with parole. How do you know that? Has that been announced anywhere? I've got to find out now. Warrant out for the third cameraman. It's been wild. Today's just been crazy. Like, trials do sometimes throw us for the loop, but not quite this. Not quite this. I'm just going to have a look. Oh, life with parole after 51 years, Court TV said. All right. Okay. That's just some random on Twitter, but we're going to go and have a look. Megan Boswell. Where are they showing us that? I need to know. All right, WJHL hasn't updated. Court TV. Where are people getting this from? This is what I'm seeing on Court TV right now. That's the verdict. Huh. Ansley, watch your back. Yeah. Trevor Lee from Summerwell's case is in the courtroom. Well, that's great, but I've got a new dog behaving badly. I've seen that one. All right, I'm going to do Megan Boswell. Verdict. Live. All right, last hour. All right, let's watch this. They might have a little bit more of it.
We'll hear more from Judge Jim Goodwin once the jury is out of the courtroom there. We'll continue to watch and listen back in at this point.
All right. Ms. Boswell, in count one, the jury of your peers having set your punishment, you'll be sentenced to life imprisonment.
No, we've seen that. Closing arguments, we've seen that. Oh, well. I don't know. I don't know. She's good. I don't know. He said life with parole. No, he said life. He said you'll be sentenced to life.
We'll hear more from Judge Jim Goodwin once the jury is out of the courtroom there. We'll continue to watch and listen back in at this point.
All right. Ms. Boswell, in count one, the jury of your peers having set your punishment, you'll be sentenced to life imprisonment. In count two, you'll be sentenced to life imprisonment. In count three, you'll be sentenced to life imprisonment. We'll have to set this for sentencing hearing where we'll deal with merger, other issues, as well as sentencing in counts 4 through 20. Does she waive the 45 days, Mr. Scott?
She does.
And then they go on about a date, setting a date.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, there we see the feed stopping there out of the criminal courtroom there. 3 counts of life, 3 life sentences, basically what the jury is recommending on those first 3 charges for the first degree murder, felony murder, and second felony murder charge there. That would be life, we would understand, with the possibility of parole.
Yes, he has to serve a full 51 years before she'd be eligible for parole. If you count the 5 years, which we will count the 5 years she has already served.
So they understand it to mean life with the possibility of parole. They understand it to mean. All right, look, I'm done for today. It's not going to matter to me. I'm not going to be here when Megan Boswell perhaps has the possibility of parole when she's 69 years of age. All right. Okay, guys, thank you for joining me. It has been a wild ride, has today. But, hey, it's done. She's gone. Goodbye, Megan. Good riddance. Somebody stick her in a trash can and just leave her. Leave her out there for the binman to pick her up. Okay, thank you all for joining me. Thanks, mods, as always. And, yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. It's been wild. And thanks to anyone who donated. Let me have a look. Gemma, you donated. Thank you so much, Gemma. I didn't see that in the chat. I was too busy concentrating on trying to find a stream. But thank you, Gemma, for the £5. All 3, Karen and Jill. All right, on that note, I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.